and welcome to another episode of Cooking with Kitties. This is our second episode, actually the third episode we shot. We had to go at making our favourite new recipe, seafood linguine, last night. We shot the video and then discovered at the end that due to a technical fault, there wasn't any sound. So we will be recording seafood linguine again at some point in the near future, but for now you get to watch us experiment with an entirely new dish, which is a kind of creamy chicken curry. So let's go on to the ingredients.
Hello, Kitty. Kitties.
Okay, so here we have about 600 grams of chicken thighs, which will be marinated for about 5 hours in this spice blend. This is a blend of a very generous amount of garam masala with some sweet smoked paprika, some turmeric, some cayenne pepper, some ground cumin, and some rock salt. I think that's everything. I think that's everything I used. And also we have the other base ingredients which we're going to start with. So some finely chopped onion, some chopped garlic, and some chopped root ginger. Okay, so here we've got a pan on a very high heat with a mixture of olive oil and butter. We're using the butter for the extra flavour that you get from frying in butter, which, as we know, improves just about everything. But we don't want to use entirely butter because we want to start by searing the chicken on quite a high heat to get it browned around the outside. Now, if you only use butter on a high heat, the butter will burn because the butter has a low smoke point. So mixing it up with some olive oil, which is capable of cooking at a much higher heat, and that in turn will help the butter to melt and add that flavour to the chicken without just burning onto the bottom of the pan. Right, so now the oil and the butter are really, really hot. We're going to go in with the chicken. Just melted, doesn't it?
So how long do you need to marinate?
Yeah, based on the recipe that I showed stolen, I'd say about 4 hours minimum. That's plenty of time for the flavours to really get in there and seep into the chicken. I wouldn't say there's enough limit, really, just as long as you want to keep chicken in the fridge uncovered. Not open, rather. So between 4 and 24 hours. And within that sort of up to 24 hours, the longer the better. But 4 hours is the minimum, and 4 hours will be enough.
This is looking very, very good.
I think we're about there. So the chicken's now been cooking for about 5 minutes. I've turned it over in that time. It's now nicely seared, nicely browned on all sides. So what we're going to do is just take it out for a few minutes and then turn the pan onto a low, medium heat, while we start cooking the rest of the ingredients. Butter and some oil in the pan. We've knocked it down to a medium heat. And I'm going to go in with some onions, some garlic, and some chopped ginger. Just to stir that around for a few minutes, get it coloured and get it softened up. we go with all of that mixture of, let's say, garlic, onion, and chopped ginger, it's going to give that a good stir around. Maybe a bit more oil, actually. And you can see it's getting really quite brown already. That's not from the cooking. That's from all of the seared ground chicken meat, which is stuck to the base of the pan. And that's something that's known as the fond. Basically, bits of slightly burnt chicken, which is, as we know, absolutely delicious. And one of the reasons we're using the same pan is because we want to try and get that flavour out. When we put the chicken back in, and when we put in the cream and the chicken broth that we're going to add later, we're going to deglaze the pan. And get all of that fond incorporated into the final dish. Okay, so it's been a couple of minutes now that the garlic, ginger, and onions have been frying away. I'm just going to go in there with some extra ingredients that we forgot to show earlier, which I've subsequently prepared. So I'm going to go in now with a handful of finely chopped spring onions. And a handful of chopped red chilli. And again, the same thing, we're just going to carry on cooking, stir those around and carry on cooking for a couple more minutes. Right, so all of this has been cooking for a few minutes now. I'm just going to tip the chicken and the accumulated juice back into the pan. Get that stirring around, get it all nice and mixed up. God, I have to say that really smells good. That smells very good indeed. Don't you think, Nanny?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, your curries are always really good. So we'll see whether this was better than the one we had.
Even though to be fair, I don't actually eat Indian food very often. I usually just make it up as I go.
But it's very good. So.
I'm sure mine has nothing on the real thing. But you know, we do what we can. We do what we can. Right, so we get all that nice and settled, and then we're going to pour in some chicken stock. Increase the heat, and we're going to let that simmer for a few minutes. Let that reduce to about half, and I think we're going to go in with the cream. Okay. And while the stock's simmering away, we're just going to chuck in the rest of the spice blend. So it's the same spice blend I described earlier that we marinated the chicken in. So generous amount of garam masala, some salt, some cumin, some sweet smoked paprika, and some turmeric. Going to dunk all of that in now. And we're also going to squeeze in a good dollop of tomato paste. Okay, so this has been simmering away for a good few minutes now. The chicken stock is heavily reduced. So what we're going to do next is go in with the cream. So here I've got 300 millilitres of single cream. I'm just going to pour this in, add it to the sauce we've got developing here. And then we pretty much carry on the process. stir it around, mix that cream into the sauce, get it nice and rich and thick, add some real body or some delicious flavour to the sauce, and then carry on simmering away on quite a high heat. Now the goal is really just to reduce the sauce to the desired consistency. So the chicken is already cooked, more or less. It's chicken thigh meat rather than chicken breast, so we can continue to simmer it for a while. It's not going to get dry. But really, everything is basically ready. We just need to get this sauce down, reduce the sauce down to the right consistency that we want.
Yeah.
But one more step I'm going to take is just chuck in a good batch of freshly chopped coriander. Just stir that around now. Okay, so that's basically it. We're just waiting until that's reduced. Right. Okay, so we've been simmering this for about 10 minutes now. And this has started to get a really, really good creamy consistency, which I think you can see on the spoon there. It's really, really thick, really creamy. And because it's reduced so much, the flavours of all of the aromatics and the herbs and the ingredients that we put in are really, really concentrated, so this is absolutely delicious. So you're just going to knock this down to a very, very low heat now. This is basically finished while we serve up. Okay, so here we have the finished article, the finished curry plated up on top of some basmati and wild rice. Now, we didn't see us cooking that, and the reason is we didn't really do anything. We just took the rice, soaked it for about half an hour, washed off some of the starch, and then chucked it in the rice cooker, and the rice cooker cooked it. So we might talk about that in some more detail in a later video, but all I can say is I wholeheartedly endorse the use of rice cookers for preparing rice. It's not only so much easier, but it really is a way to get a better result. Rice cookers are better than anything you can do to cook rice. So it's not just a question of being lazy and labour saving. It is the best way to actually produce good rice.
Because of the pressure, air pressure.
Yes, exactly. Because it's not just boiling it away. It's a kind of pressure cooker. Yeah. And this is topped with some squished a bit of lime juice on top, and then served with a wedge of lime, and topped with a garnish of coriander. So let's enjoy, honey. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Cooking with Kitties, and I hope you're inspired to try the same recipe yourself. I actually just tried a bit over in the kitchen, and it is really, really good. So I would definitely recommend you follow this recipe. We'll be back hopefully next week with another video. That seafood linguine we will do again at some point because it was very, very good. And that will be up on the channel as soon as possible. But until then, see you next time.